All right, YouTube, what is up, and welcome back to day 336, where I'm back to a 4.5 inch board press, where the goal was to just beat 150 from around 12 weeks ago, and I managed to do that quite comfortably. You can see here's 150 moves really, really nice. If I'm not mistaken, last time around, 150 moved with like a lot of difficulty, much more than this 155 here, and that's where I decided to stop it. Actually, I wasn't lying like far enough back on the bench when I was doing the 155, so I had to lift the bar out a lot in front of me, which I think messed up my positioning a ton, and that was a big mistake. I think it would have been a lot easier than it was. I would still have stopped at 155, but it would probably maybe have been like half an IPE, one IPE lower would be my bet. But overall, pretty damn good. It feels like I could have done 160, and it's definitely a step back in the right direction with bench press after how shit it's been for a long time. In order to try and regain momentum, I'm also taking the week 1 and 2 a little bit easier when I'm building up to the third week, just to basically just get good reps in and not have too much fatigue, because I don't think it's really that necessary to get like above happy 6 to 7 on week 2 in order for me to perform well in the third week. But yeah, I love the pen press. For me, it's one of the best pen press variations that I can do. It's one of the ones I look forward to doing the absolute most, because it's just like I've said it many times before. It's just pure strength, and it just feels extremely good to do when you're pausing on the pins, lifting from dead stop. Feels good on the muscle, on the joints, and everything. Now, one thing that didn't feel really, really good were the Jefferson curls. I was up doing a top set of two with 130, and then three sets of two with 112 kilos. It feels like the bar was just constantly slipping. Everything apart from this last set with 112 felt kind of meh. Like, and I don't know, like, it's probably not an advantage to have big arms when you're doing Jefferson curls, because the same way that using a pad on the bar would make less room in the elbow, like you can't bend it as much, um, get it enough up to avoid the bar slipping down. It's the kind of same thing that happens when you get more fat and more muscle on your around your elbow pit. And I think that's kind of what's happened now that I have like 46 centimeters arms. It's just not the biggest advantage in the world, because the thing is that obviously my deadlift is stronger than before. I paused 260 kilos in the deadlift, which is more than I had ever done before. So I know that my pulling strength is just stronger. The same with my squat. So it would be really, really weird that just to have a weaker Jefferson curl for strength reasons. Also, the fact that now I'm training the flexibility component again, which you will see in a little bit. And I also did a couple of sets like in between my warm ups, building up to the Jefferson curls, just to gain a little bit more flexibility. And then that should become less of a problem. So if it doesn't get better from gaining back flexibility, I think it's a clear sign that the only thing that's pretty much different from the last time around is that my arms are bigger, because I'm stronger in general, in everything. Um, and I can, and if I'm also as flexible and I'm training in the same way, then the only thing that's different is that my arms are significantly bigger, because of all the preacher curls basically I've been doing these last 2 years and how strong I've become. Especially it's my biceps that are become bigger more than it has been my triceps because of the lesser amount of triceps isolation I've been doing, where it's really only in the bench press that I have been hitting my chest and triceps. So that's like my logic that the only thing that can contribute to my Slater Jefferson curl feeling this off and the grip, like the bar feeling like it's constantly going to slip, it must simply be that my arms are bigger and there's less space for the bar. For the first time in a long time, after the everything, after incline curls, after the weighted pike stretches, as well, I did some posing just to try and see because I was alone. I was like, why not do a little bit of posing? So you can see from the first pose, you can actually see my abs. Like I do have some fat down there. You can see when I suck in the stomach, which is okay. It's not like I'm fat. Like I don't want to get above 105 kilos probably. That is when I'm gonna cut down and try to get down to like 95 kilo again maybe, to try to see how I will look at that body weight. And I think it's not going to be extremely hard to cut down because I was around 95 kilo body weight before I began to add the shake, like with milk and honey every morning, and before I began eating like 120 grams of dates in the morning. Like that's like the shake with honey is like 400 calories. The dates are like 400 calories as well, but it's 120 grams. So that is a lot of the weight gain from the 95 kilo and up until this point where I'm like 102, 103 kilo ish. The most I've weighed after sauna, where I do also hydrate on the waist. So I'm not weighing less than I did before going in. It's 103 and a half. So it's not far off hitting the 105 kilo mark. But when I get there, I'm gonna try to cut down a bit, and I don't think I'm gonna lose strength really because I have a significantly high amount of fat that I can lose through that. So the point is that my body don't need to get rid of muscle if I'm just in an low caloric deficit. Instead, what I'm getting rid of is just fat. Obviously, it means that I'm gonna have to eat enough protein, and I'm gonna have to have my workout dialed in order for me not to lose muscle, basically. But anyways, guys, that is all for the video. I'll see you for the next one. Peace out.